Hello and a very warm welcome to Game On, where you get a courtside seat to all the action from the world of sports. Today on the show, West Indian all-rounder Andre Russell reveals how he's able to hit the biggest sixes. In La Liga, Barcelona are stunned by Girona, who are sitting at the top of the table after a historic start. And in a bizarre incident, despite the bowler rattling the middle stump, the bails remained intact in a domestic match in Australia, which has led to the debate on whether the batter is out or not out. You've got to wait just a little bit for that story, but first let's begin with India versus South Africa. And the first T20I between India and South Africa was called off in Durban due to persistent rain. India would have liked to start the process for finding the ideal combination for the 2024 T20I World Cup, but those plans had to be put on hold after the rain washed off the first T20I. Now, this has made former Indian captain Sunil Gavasker very upset. And the legend slammed Cricket South Africa for not covering the entire field when rain greeted the venue prior to the traditional toy course. He said, if the ground remains uncovered and the rain stops, you know it doesn't start for another 1 hour. Suddenly, it rains again. So there is no play whatsoever. Everybody, which means cricket boards, he says, is getting a lot of money. Let's make no mistake. All the cricket boards have got plenty of money. If they say they don't, they are lying. They might not have as much money as the BCCI, fair enough, but every board has got money to buy these covers to cover the entire ground. Former Indian opener then also remembered how the weather in England, that left everyone frustrated, given even at venues in England, grounds weren't covered. He said so many World Cup matches in England did not take place because the ground was not covered. The rain had stopped, but the rest of the ground was wet. So a lot of teams lost points. Then he goes on to give credit to Sourav Ganguly for ensuring that during his tenure as the president of the BCCI, Kolkata's Eden Gardens had a fully covered rain management system. He says what the boards need to do now is to cover the entire ground. Let's have no excuse. I remember, I think there was a test match at the Eden Gardens where there was some problem at the game and that didn't start on time. Next game, Eden Gardens had the entire ground covered. That is the kind of initiative you want. Sourav Ganguly was the man in charge, and he made sure that nobody could point the fingers at Eden Gardens. So the men in blue, they're left with just 5 T20Is, 2 more against the Proteas and 3 games against Afghanistan at home in January ahead of next year's showpiece in the West Indies and the USA. Okay, moving on. Now, he is one of the most explosive hitters of a cricket ball and a T20 legend. West Indian all-rounder Andre Russell is fit and he's been recalled to the West Indies T20I squad. I spoke to him about a lot of things, including the club versus country debate. Watch this chat to know more. Andre Russell, thank you so much for taking the time out to talk to us. First of all, tell me, how much are you enjoying this particular format, the T10 format?
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I think, whatever we do, once it's a game of cricket, that we all love, and it's the job that, we choose, we have to try our best to enjoy it. I think once you're enjoying it, then the result will come and the good performances will come. So the challenging part about T10 is, while I bowled, that's the only thing that, put a bit of, nerve-wracking going through my system whenever I'm bowling. Guys just go hard at everything. So, it teaches you as well how to deal with pressure. So even though it's a uncomfortable situation for most bowlers in T10, your ball keep going for 6s and 4s and, you try your best to stop it and then it keeps going. So that's the only challenge part. But I enjoy when I'm batting and I'm on the go.
So when you're on the other side, it doesn't feel that good when others are hitting you. But tell me something, the brute force in your shots, right? Even a mistimed shot goes for a 6.
What is it like when you come back and you've played an innings like that? And, fellow players are just absolutely marveling at how you hit some of those shots. What are some of the questions that have been thrown at you?
Boy, listen, I've gotten some weird questions from teammates, even while batting in the middle, and especially guys that I may playing with for the first time, playing in a new league and they're batting with me. They would say stuff that, I have to kind of pinch myself, to say, okay, I'm that big of a player. But they would say it's a pleasure batting with you, and it's a pleasure, giving you the strike and watch you entertain while I'm at the other end. Then you have guys that they are afraid while they're standing up on the non-striker end because I hit the ball so hard. Sometimes if I hit straight, then they won't have time to react to get out of the way. So I always tell them to stay side on. So you make yourself smaller. But yeah, it's just the fun part about batting with guys who I haven't bat with are first time playing with them, and they react a certain way whenever I hit some powerful shots. So it's something to live with, and it's something not to get your head swollen by. I try to be as humble as possible and grounded. Listen to the good comment, but never walk around like how people describe you. So I always try to remain grounded, because this game of cricket, it's very funny, where you can have an amazing game tonight, and tomorrow night, your stay at the crease can be very short. So you just have to work with it as it goes along and try to put your best foot forward at all time.
Oh, yes, it is a great leveler. But do you, at the top of your mind, do you remember anything weird that someone has said that stuck out?
I would hit like a 6 over cover off the back foot, and someone would like walk up and we punch glove, and they would like, how did you get that ball over there? Like, how did you do that? Like, with power as well. Like, sometimes I do it, not every game, but I know I've done it before. So in that moment, it's like, okay, I've gotten another one in that area. Similar shot, similar look, while playing the shot with power as well. And the amazement that comes with it is just unreal. And that's why I'm saying sometimes it makes me pinch myself, like, okay, this guy really loves the shot. All right, let me see if I can entertain him again, and try to go big for another 6. Maybe after the game we talk about it, and you can just maybe hear the passion in that player voice, saying, hey, I was batting with the guy and I was scared, to see how hard he hit the ball and how far he hit the ball as well. So these things, it happens so much where it's hard to just remember from the top of my head, and describe those reactions.
Okay. So now injuries, let's talk about this. For every athlete, cricketer, injuries are part of your life, and it cannot be easy being out of the game for a long period of time when you're injured. What has that been like when you've gotten injured? Mentally, what's the kind of toll it takes on an elite athlete when they get injured, and they cannot just get back to doing what they love doing?
Oh man, it's annoying. It's annoying when you get injured, and you have to be watching the game, lying in your bed, maybe with the ice pack on, recovery, the road to recovery is always not the easiest for athletes. Mentally, you're drained just doing the rehabs. And rehab work can be painful, and you have to work through the pain as well that you're getting, because if you wait until your particular injury that you get is completely healed, you may miss out on the opportunity of getting back quicker than normal. So I've had injuries before where I ruled out 4 weeks and I get back in 2.5 weeks because I work hard just to get back on the park. I try my best not to get injured or not to think about injuries, but in the moment you're playing, you might just dive for a ball that you should have maybe just let go for 4 or let go. But it's just the momentum and the whole adrenaline going through it will cause you to do something stupid, and then you're like, why did I even try to reach that ball? And you miss 4 or 5 games. So it's annoying, as I said before, and no player want to get injured. It's just something that comes with being an athlete, and that's why we have to make sure that we eat properly, take the necessary vitamins, and try to make sure that once you have the time, you go to the gym and you put in the hard work.
Yeah. What about the training bit of it then? Is there any kind of special training for this kind of power hitting?
Yeah, definitely. In order for me to be doing this consistently over the years, it takes a lot of hard work behind the scene. Sometimes I post a few stuff, and sometimes I would just wake up out the middle of the night, go to the gym, or before I go to bed, I go to the gym. In the morning, I would just go in the gym, do some legs, maybe a little upper body, some core exercises, and I just switch it up. I would be in my room and I just go on the carpet and start doing some abs and some push-ups. So it's all about being consistent and making sure that you look after your body, because if you don't do much things for like a week or 2 weeks, your body lose muscle mass, and you need muscle memory, and you need to make sure that those muscles are engaged and working. So whenever you go back to playing, you're not missing out on a lot, or you don't have a lot of work to do. So I try to make sure that I don't go a week without doing any form of, hard work and exercise, get my heart rate up. So that's my philosophy, and it's been going good throughout my career.
Of course it is. Now tell me one thing. You said that, look, it's challenging when you're bowling because it's so different. You're on the receiving end. So if the opposition have to keep Russell quiet, can you give the secret out for how the bowler should bowl to you?
I think most teams now they're figuring out how to get me to how to keep me quiet, I would say. But then if I realize that's the plan, I'm gonna counter the plan. So it's just, you have to make sure that you stick to your strength and you look at the field. Sometimes bowlers bluff and they set a field and bowl opposite of that field. Now, as a batter, you don't have control over that. You just have to react to whatever delivery that you're facing. But for me, to keep me quiet, guys been looking to bowl wide Yorkers and sharp balls at my body. But at the end of the day, it's not a secret. It's been happening for years, but I still find ways of encountering it. And if I just sit back and don't work on short balls or work on wide deliveries, then maybe I just pack it up and say, goodbye cricket. But, I try my best to work through every situation that I face when I go back.
Now, you must have, of course, watched the World Cup and the final itself. I've got to ask you this. What is it about Australia? I've been asking this to everybody. After Australia won the World Cup, I think it was the manner in which they won it against a team like India, so dominant throughout the tournament, only to lose at the final hurdle in conditions that weren't really suitable to Australia. What is it about these Australians, and why is it so difficult to beat them in World Cups?
Look, India was always a favorite going into the finals. They were the favorite. They were playing unstoppable cricket. The batters been turning up games after games, bowlers turning up, Shami Bumrah, the spinners, they've been doing extremely well for them. But I just think it's how cricket is, and it's a funny game. And we have to just respect and appreciate this game. It's sad, but I was telling one of my teammates, we were having a practice session home, and he said to me that India is going to win the finals easy because they have beaten Australia in the first game and whatever. And I said, listen, I just think India should have lost a game early up in the tournament, because cricket it's an unfair game, as I said earlier. And I said they should have lost at least one game, because they might lose when it's the most important game of the tournament. And that same conversation I said, but with Kohli in good form, Rohit, Shukman Gill, K. Rahul, Shreyas Iyer, all these guys, I don't see them failing. Australia will have to play an amazing game to win. And it's just funny how the game goes. The batters fail in a big game, and it was an important game where once 4 batters turn up on that day, they would have definitely gotten 300 plus runs, and 340, 350 in a World Cup finals. That would be a big ask. So, unfortunately, it would be good if India could have win that World Cup in India for the fans. And, we all know how crazy and in love these people are with the game. So, for a house as well, it would be an amazing atmosphere if India did that trophy.
I was there at the final, and I was sitting outside where you could hear the crowd, the 92,000 people that had come. And as soon as David Warner got out, Mohammad Shami got the wicket of David Warner, it was absolutely deafening. And it's got that whole stadium's got such a gladiatorial feel to it. It's a massive stadium, and the batter walking next, there is no way he would not be intimidated. And that's when I felt like how big an achievement this was for Australia in a final, with a partisan crowd, to outdo a team like India.
Yeah, that was a big moment in cricket, because even when Sri Lanka played the finals in India 2011 and India win in Wankhede, I remember I played in that World Cup, and we got Sachin Tendulkar out very early. And listen, if someone in the dugout from the West Indies shout, "Hey!" You could have hear it from in the middle of the pitch. That's how quiet the stands or the stadium went, and it's just amazing that they keep their nerves and they keep calm, and they do it. They did it. They get it done in front of 100,000 people, plus maybe people outside the ground, and that was a big moment.
Yeah. Okay. On the T20 and these leagues around the world, I think 3 more new leagues have been added just this year. What do you see the future of league versus international cricket?
I think there will be a lot of clashes with players who want to go and play league to obviously earn more, and players want to skip this international series just to go and play a particular tournament. There are so many leagues happening now, and you have leagues now searching for a window to have their own thing started. So I think it's gonna be a bit challenging. And in my time, a couple of years back, when leagues was clashing with West Indies series, thinking about all that income that you could get from just a month or 3 weeks, it was crazy compared to what players normally get representing their country. But at the end of the day, we try to find the balance to say, okay, we will be available for this half of the tournament, and then we play the games for West Indies, and we try to make it work. So we wouldn't be available for the whole tournament, but we would be available for like half of the tournament because it clashed with international duty. But with now the amount of international games playing plus the amount of leagues, it's going to be a challenge for these youngsters. And, everyone knows, when the grass is green on the other side, how it goes. We have life after cricket. So once they stay, grounded and stay balanced, then everything should work.
Okay, with that, we're going to slip into a short break, but on the other sides, more sports stories will follow.
जानना है तो देखिए, समझना है तो सुनिए, सीखना है तो पूछिए, और कमाना है तो खरीदिए। जानकारी, सलाह और निवेश सब एक ही सुपर ऐप पर। पैसे का सवाल है तो जवाब है मनी9। आजादी पैसे की, अभी डाउनलोड करें।
Okay, moving on. One of the more incredible things you would not expect to see on a cricket pitch actually took place during a domestic match in Australia when a bowler managed to knock back the middle stump, only for him and his shocked teammates to realize that the 2 bails were unmoved. This freak instance occurred during an ACT Premier 3rd grade match between Janindra Cricket Club and West District Cricket Club, when a bowler named Andy Reynolds clean bowled batter Matthew Bosisto, who made his way from the pitch only to be recalled when someone realized that while his middle stump had been pegged back, the bails had not been dislodged. The on-field umpires convened to review this most peculiar incident, and then, as per the rules of cricket in specific law 29 of the MCC, they informed Bosisto that he was indeed not out. Now, what does this specific law state? This specific law says the wicket is broken when at least 1 bail is completely removed from the top of the stumps, or 1 or more stumps is removed from the ground. So, in regards to this freak dismissal, neither was the bail dislodged nor was the middle stump uprooted. Had the stump being knocked out of the ground, despite the bail staying on, the batter would have been declared out. But what do you think about it? Do you think he should have been given out, given the third stump had, or do they need to just completely change the rule? Okay, while you think about this, let's wrap this show up with a bit of football. It was a historic night for Girona, who recorded their first ever La Liga win over Barcelona in style, beating them 4-2 to remain at the top in Spain. Can it have greater implications in the title race? It is still too early to say so, but Girona fans will certainly be over the moon after what has been an incredible run so far for their team. Meanwhile, Xavi Hernandez and his boys may have been in control of the game for large part. The defeat will leave them with plenty to think about. In a famous win, high-flying Girona reclaimed top spot in La Liga after beating reigning champions Barcelona 4-2 away on Sunday, 10th of December, condemning Xavi Hernandez's side to their second league defeat of the season. Artem Dovbyk put Girona in front in the 12th minute before Robert Lewandowski equalized for the hosts 7 minutes later, heading home following a corner. Miguel Gutierrez restored Girona's lead before halftime, and Valery Fernandez made it 3-1 in the 80th minute. AK Gundogan pulled another goal back of Barca, but Girona were not done. Cristian Stuani scored their fourth in stoppage time.
Girona are playing really well. I think they are candidate to win the title because they have a good side and good individuals, and they work really hard. Michael is great as well. So congratulations to Girona. We have to keep working. There are two things. We need more defensive solidity and we need to be more effective in front of the goal. We had 30 or 31 chances and we didn't convert them. That's what made the difference today.
It's been a dream run for Girona, who are at the top of the standings with 41 points from 16 games, having leapfrogged Real Madrid on 39 points. Barcelona are fourth on 34 points, level with third place Atletico Madrid, who have a game in hand. What a dream run this has been for Girona. With that, we're going to wrap this up. Hope you enjoyed this show. Goodbye. Thanks for watching.
He thought